very good evening to you from the sports desk. Let's start here. The Cosafa Women's Championship is in full swing and take place in the Nelson Mandela Bay area. Hosts South Africa won their match earlier as the country continues to play host to the tournament. To speak to us about the event, we are joined by Cosafa's Sue Destombes. Sue, very good evening and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you and to all the viewers.
Let's start again, Cosafa Women's Cup coming again to South Africa. How is, what's the motivation once again coming to South Africa? And I guess the successes that we've seen over the years also serve as a motivation for returning once again to South Africa.
Yeah, we've been in South Africa for this particular tournament since 2018. We've been in Nelson Mandela Bay for most of that period, apart from last year. It's we go, although we have a philosophy of spreading the happiness and taking, wanting to circulate our tournaments. It does rely on our member associations having the facilities that are required, and being able to, for whatever other reason, be able to host. So we've had a very successful partnership with the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, as well as with the Eastern Cape provincial government for this particular tournament. And the city, has done us proud over the years, and I think more particularly if one wants to look at the advancement of Banyana, this city has really played its part in terms of qualifying Banyana for the 2018 Cup of Nations, the Women's African Cup of Nations, the 2019 World Cup, and going on to the 2023 World Cup, as well as our other nations like Zambia, Botswana. Last year we saw Malawi, coming through. Although South Africa has done us proud. What can I say?
Yeah, let's talk about the level of competition, Sue, that we've seen. I mean, since the inception of the tournament, we have seen quite a growth in terms of the level of competition from different other countries that are participating. From your perspective, just talk to us about that growth and how competitive the league, or rather the competition, has become.
When I look back to 2017, although this tournament has been going since 2002, off and on, which was very much reliant on funding. But since 2017, this has been an annual feature on our calendar. And if I look at the advancements since 2017 until now, 2024, 7 years, there's been a marked improvement. The haves and the have-nots, the distinct bands, of the level of competition. We saw Botswana, in the last WAFCON, miss out on qualification to the World Cup literally by a whisker. And I think because of their advancement, because of how well they had done, they have just recently secured a very lucrative sponsor in FNB Botswana, and that can only have lead to further development, because it's going to be sustaining and it's going to be helping to prepare that team. Zambia, of course, have done excellently. South Africa, we saw Malawi last year winning for the first time. And, we're looking to see what they're going to bring back to the table this year. But when, one even looks at some of the other countries, Comores, we're waiting to see what Comores is bringing, because they haven't played yet. They're in a group of 3, and so their first game is on Sunday. They are already today, in fact, played a friendly game. And Comores one never knows what they've got up their sleeve. They've got a big French contingent. Their coach is from France, so always an interesting one to look at. Madagascar fared very well against Eswatini. So there really has been a great development across the region in women's football because of the continuous the continuity, the continuous competitive play year on year.
Would you say then that the tournament has helped in improving, not only from a playing perspective, but also just in terms of support and exposure for women's football in the region?
Yes, I think so. I think in some of our countries there's still a lot to be done in terms of really bringing corporates on board. There's really 2 or 3 countries amongst our 14 who've really put their money where their mouth is, literally, and invested in women's football. And I think we've got a long way to go in that, and in our other countries, and even in those countries where we do have good sponsors. There's room to improve because the level of football is improving year on year. The style of play, the attractiveness, the entertainment value. If you saw the crowds today at the Wolfson Stadium in Nelson Mandela Bay for the today's game, South Africa was there. It was fabulous. Fabulous. Sometimes we get better crowds for the women than we do for the men. So we've really got to work on bringing, upping the ante and convincing those corporates across the region to support women's football, and to get in it at the entry level, and to grow with our teams.
Right.
So that when they go to the Women's AFCON, when they go to the World Cup, etc., they are there by their side as the partner, that got the teams there.
Right, Sue Destombes, we're going to have to leave it there. Executive Director at Cosafa, talking to us about the Cosafa Women's Cup that is currently underway.